Hello everyone. We're just going to do a couple quick examples that covers our day 3 of our loans and investment project or unit, which covers things like knowing how to figure out how much you spend or pay in interest when you're taking out a loan, or if you're doing an investment, how much you're actually earning in interest. So reminder, here's our investment and loan formulas. We always need our two parts of our recursive formula, our U0, which is always our initial amount. And in terms of an investment, that means your in principal investment, what's your first amount you deposited. And for a loan, it's your principal loan amount, which is how much your loan is for, how much you're borrowing. Most of the rest of it is also the same. You need your rule part down here. Your UN equals UN minus 1 times 1 plus AR is your annual interest rate in decimal form. F is your frequency, and this is like the number of times per year your interest rate is compounded. Most frequently we use monthly, and in those cases then F would be 12 times per year. And then here's kind of the biggest difference of these two formulas. There's, for investments, the plus D. So are you making other regular deposits, monthly or weekly or whatever that would be? Or for a loan, you're making a payment. And again, especially for those ones, monthly is most common. So let's try a couple examples here. All right, so you're taking out a $50,000 loan. So right here, this is your principal amount of your loans. So that's how much you have to pay back. Your interest rate is 6.25%, compounded monthly. So again, our F is 12, and we're making payments of $990 per month. So our second part of our formula is UN equals UN minus 1 times 1 plus. So all that's staying the same. All right, so here's our interest rate divided by our frequency minus our payment amount. All right, so then we're going to put that in our calculator. Make sure you ask if you don't know how to do that yet. That's really important that you know how to do that. And then it makes it really easy to answer these last couple of questions. So how many months did it take to pay off the loan? So what we would be looking for in our table is we're going to look for the first time that we have 0, which is unlikely to exactly hit 0. More likely your first time you've gotten a negative number, because that actually means you've paid more than you really needed to. So in this case, that would be 59 months. Okay? So it took 59 months to pay that off. So here's what's new for day 3. So it says, how much did you end up paying for the car? So the idea is, well, we paid for it for 59 months. And for each of those 59 months, we paid that payment of $990. So if we just calculated that, that'd be $58,410. But since we did not hit this at exactly $0 left over, we actually paid more. We paid $240 and some more than we needed to. So from our monthly payments, 59 times, we're just going to then subtract that number on the right side of our table. And if we had looked closer, that'd be 0.19 in our table. So really, we paid a total of $58,169.81 for that vehicle. Okay, so again, that was how many times you made this payment. Okay, so we had to figure that out from this part. This was our payment in the part of the problem we were given, and then subtract out the number from our table in our calculator. Okay, so how much does that mean we actually spent on interest alone? So if we paid $58,169.81, but we were only buying something that was worth $50,000, our U0, that means we paid $8,169.81 purely in interest. So, I mean, almost 20% of what you paid was in interest alone, which is not very fun. Okay. Okay, so that's how we would do that with our loans. So that was a specific example. Here's kind of the formula for that if you like to follow kind of an equation. So if you want to know how much your total contribution was, or your total you paid, you're going to take your payment amount that's given in the problem, number of months to pay it off, and then your first negative value from your table in your calculator. And then if we want to know how much of that was interest, okay, we're going to take what we just solved for, the total contributions, subtract your U0, your initial loan amount, how much you were really looking to spend. All right. So let's do one for an investment. So for this one, it says Mike invests $400 into an account that earns 3.6% interest compounded monthly. So again, here is our U0. That was the first amount he deposited. Now what's a little bit different about this one is that it does not tell us like a different value that he was regularly depositing versus like his initial deposit. So this is his monthly deposit. So that's what would be back here, the plus 400. But that is also the same as his original deposit. Okay, we would never want our U0 to be 0. That doesn't really make sense because then you're not earning interest on, you're earning interest on $0. So here we've got our, our 0.036 divided by 12 for our interest and compounded monthly. So then again, we put this in our calculator, and now this one says how much does he have after 20 years? So what we need to notice is that this formula is in months. So in our table on our calculator, each of these numbers represents number of months, not years. So that's why we need to go to 240 in our calculator, because that would be 20 times 12, 240 months. Okay, so at that time, he's got $141,116.89. Again, make sure you look at this number down here to get all the decimals there, because this is just a rounded number. All right, so how much did he contribute? So this means like some of this money, it is his money now, but it was given to him by the bank. He earned interest on that. So, Max, I'll be right upstairs. Hold on. So, we're going to say, okay, so for 240 months, he made a deposit of $400. And then he also had this original deposit of that extra $400. So what's different about this one is that these two numbers here aren't always the same. Often most likely they're not going to be the same, but in this case they are. Okay, so he contributed of his own money that he earned. He contributed $96,400. How much of that he now has in the bank, here's how much he has in the bank now, right? That's how much he could go out and now spend, even though he only put in the bank $96,000. So if we want to figure out how much he earned in interest, we're simply then going to subtract those two numbers. So if I subtract this, we get $44,716. Now, this was over 20 years, but he did earn over $44,000 in interest during that time. So free money, that's always good. All right, so here's kind of the setup of this. So if we want to know the total contribution, so again, this in terms of an investment would be how much of his own money did he put in, or she. So we would take our initial investment, our U0. Max, you need to wait. Our additional investment, so that would be like your D in your equation, times number of deposits. Okay. All right, and then the interest that we've made, or interest earned, we take the value of the account. So this is the value from the table at that time. Whoops, sorry, from the calculator at that time. However long it took you to save that much, or whatever it tells you in the problem. and then subtract out what we had just found for the total contribution. All right, so that's about it. Do your best, and we'll see you tomorrow.